initially be appreciated. And a reminder that there is no video to be shot in the press conference area. If you want to utilize press conference video, you need to hook into the machines that are in the electronic media room. So with that, wish you good morning and welcome to the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament first and second round games in Portland, Oregon. This is the practice day press conference for Memphis. Joining us on the dais are student athletes Jalen Duran, Alex Lomax, and DeAndre Williams. Reminder that we'll first take questions from the media room, and then after that we will have questions that are asked by our attendees that are on Zoom. Welcome to Portland, welcome to the NCAA Tournament, and at this time we will open it up to questions. Go ahead. Mic's not on.
Mic not on.
Testing.
There you go.
All right, so this is for any of you guys. Has it set in yet that you guys are here and that you're playing in the NCAA tournament tomorrow? It's the first time for all you guys, right? So has it set in?
Well, for me, it didn't early on, but as soon as I sat down right here, it did.
Yeah, same thing for me. Just being up here with my teammates right now, being in front of y'all, in front of the bright lights, it's starting to set in a lot more.
Yeah, same thing they just said. It kind of sat down with me as soon as I sat down. Amazing feeling, and I'm really ready to make some noise with my teammates.
All right, DeAndre, Stephen Johnson, Daily Memphian. I think you're the only one up there that played against Boise last year. What do you remember about that matchup, and are there any differences you've seen this year?
No, not really. I mean, they're pretty much the same team. They play very well. They well coached. They poised. They run their stuff right. It's just going to be a real good matchup. And, with the success they had, this year, we just got to come in locked in and just ready to play.
Alo, this is for you. Cassie Carlson, Action News 5 in Memphis. Did you grow up watching Willie Kemp play in the NCAA tournament, and what's it been like working with him as a grad assistant, and have you talked to him at all about what it's like to be on this big stage?
Yeah, I was 8 years old in 2008, and that's when Willie was in the tournament with D-Rose and the special team. And I just always saw the energy that he played with and the passion and everything. And he's been a great mentor to me this year. Our relationship has gotten very stronger on and off the court. And he's done a great job of just helping me be a better leader and, talking to my teammates and with communication. And it's very special, the feeling that he had back then. We just trying to get that same feeling that he had and do some special things like he did back in 2008.
Jalen's Brian Hamilton from The Athletic. What are the biggest ways you've evolved and grown this year in terms of how you've kind of met your own expectations?
Just understanding the college game a lot more. Coming out of high school and jumping right into college, it was a transition. It was a huge transition I had to get used to. But guys like Alex and DeAndre have been great leaders to me and just helping me grow throughout the season, which I feel like I'm very appreciative for. And I feel like I've grown in all areas, like in terms of just understanding the game, in terms of my personal skill set, in terms of just team college basketball.
And can I just follow up with Alex and DeAndre? Can you sort of talk about what you've seen the biggest growth in Jalen across this season?
The biggest growth from Jalen is his mental. He came in with a great mindset from day one. And just to see from day one to now, he's learned the game. He's learning the game of basketball. He's learning the physicality of the game, and he's approaching everything the right way. And he's very humble. He's a humble beast. And just to see the work that he put in off the court and on the court every day is showing. And I feel like he got a lot more to show. And we really haven't seen the best version of him yet. We've seen small flashes, but I feel like it's time now.
Basically what the general just said. Amazing talent. The guy he's just amazing, man. What he does on the floor, off the floor, how he attacked the game with his mindset. He just really locked in on winning and making history, and that's the one thing I like about him, his mentality. And every time he step on the floor, he's ready to play, and he motivates all his teammates.
Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian for Alex. You were talking about watching the team in 2008 What do you remember of that, being a little kid watching this team in the tournament, and what then does it mean for you to lead this team into this tournament again?
You know, it was a very long time ago, but one thing I do remember is there was a lot of winning going on, and you know, the more the Tigers win, the happier the city is, and there's just a feeling that I could remember back when my family, my uncles and my aunties, just being very excited every time the Tigers was playing, and every time they got a win in March Madness, the city would just go crazy. You know, everybody would tune in, and the energy would just be aesthetic, and you know. A couple years later, here I am, really never expected to be in this seat when I was 8 years old watching the Tigers play. But, you know, God kind of, you know, blessed me, Coach Penny, everybody blessed me to be in this situation. And I just want to leave it all out on the court, give it all I got, just be the best teammate that I can be to everybody on the court and on my team.
John Mallory from KTIK Sports Radio in Boise. And if we could just start with you, Jalen, just seeing what you've seen from Boise State, your opponent on tape, what impresses you the most with how they play?
Seeing the film that I've seen, they're an older team, which means they understand the game a lot more. I think, like DeAndre said, they're really poised. They run their plays. They seem like they play together. They got a great chemistry, it looks like, on film, and like they had a lot of success this year. So like obviously I wasn't there last year, but seeing them this year, seeing the type of team they are this year, look like they're a well-coached team, and they know what they're doing.
Jay Tuss, KTVB out of Boise. Jalen, this one's for you as well. Going up against a guy like Mladen Armush tomorrow, number 33 for Boise State. He's almost 24 years old. What type of challenge will his veteran presence be? And Boise State's also been extremely good on the offensive glass and rebounding in general. So what type of challenge will that be for you guys as well?
I mean, for me, I've been dealing with it all year. Honestly, it's nothing new to me. I don't look at no age. I don't look at no size. That's, to me, it's basketball. I feel like, I got confidence in myself. I know what I bring to the table, and I know what my teammates bring to the table. So honestly, I feel like no matter the age, size, whatever it is, I feel like we're gonna come out and do our thing.
In back here.
For DeAndre and Alo, there was a bittersweet feeling on Sunday after losing to Houston when you heard your name called for the NCAA tournament. Over the past few days, has that changed into any sort of motivation that it's turned into, or how has that kind of evolved over the days?
I mean, it definitely made us exciting. We not finishing the season the way we didn't want to finish. I mean, we got this opportunity to play in the tournament, and so God just blessed us with another situation that we can, seize the moment. And so, we're very excited. We coming in, very motivated, and we want to make some noise and show the world that, I mean, even though we finish the season like that, we can, still make something happen.
Basically the same thing DeAndre just said. It was a bittersweet moment, but you got to look at everything like a blessing. The season's still going on. We're in the biggest tournament in the country right now. We got a chance to do something special. And, our last game was an L, so, it's still sitting on everybody's heart and our mindset real heavy. And, we want to come in and try to change that and just go harder. We didn't give our last performance the way we wanted to. So we got a chance to redeem ourselves, and that's something that I feel like everybody on the team really want to do.
In front.
Question for Dre and Jalen. Dre, you just called Alo the
Name
General.
and affiliation, please.
Oh, Stephen Johnson, Daily Memphian. I know Alo's nickname is the General, so just for you two guys, what does he do for you guys on both ends, and just what have you kind of seen from him on this stretch when you guys won 12 or 14 games?
Basically, just, controlling everything. When things get rattled, he basically, try to, put us in a huddle, and it's just like try to calm us down, and that's what he does when everything is, trying to get out of place. He calm everybody down, and, he get us into something. And that's why we call him the General, because he bring that poise and that leadership at the point guard spot. And we just, try to follow his lead. Whatever he's asking or he calling, I mean, we listen to him. So he's an extension of the coach, and, we following his lead.
For me, when I first got here, I heard everybody call him the General. I didn't really understand what it meant until I got on the floor with him, and kind of he really embraces that nickname. just in the way that he controls the tempo. He runs the show for our team, and he's just been a great leader for me personally, just helping me, like I said before, just understand the game and be more comfortable in the game. So when it comes to him being a general, he really does embrace that nickname.
Jay Tuss, KTVB. Either of you can answer this, but at one point in time, Boise State was one game under 500 this year. One point in time, you guys were too at 8-9. What was the turning point in your guys' season, and how much confidence are you playing with right now?
I feel like the turning point was just getting closer off the court for us, just becoming more of a brotherhood, learning each other stories a lot more. And I feel like once we kind of did that, shout out to Willie Kemp too. A couple times we just went over his house and just hung out his boys, hung out his brothers, and got to know each other a lot more. And I feel like kind of ever since that day and those moments, we got a lot closer off the court, and we built a lot of trust on the court also.
Before we get to the question back, just want to double check. Are there anybody in the Zoom who would like to ask a question? I don't see anyone, so go ahead.
Jalen, again, Brian Hamilton from The Athletic right here. From a strictly basketball sense, like on-floor stuff, where did you want to improve this year, and what have you done to improve just strictly from that basketball-specific skill area?
I say in all areas, honestly. I say on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Coach Hardaway and Coach Brown, Coach Top, all the coaches definitely helped me improve my game on both ends of the floor, on defense, on offense, on just my personal skill set. And I feel like coming into the year, that was a big thing for me. I just wanted to learn a lot more. I wanted to develop my game, and I feel like throughout the season, they helped me a lot with that.
Go ahead.
Jason Munns with the Commercial Appeal, and this is for anybody. How's Penny been the last few days? Penny and Coach Brown, and like how have are they just, what's their demeanor been like and their attitude coming here and getting ready for this?
I'll say they motivated more than ever. They just, try to, tell us what we do wrong, and at the same time how we can fix it. And that's their greatness on, what they approach and how they, approach the game. They're great basketball minds. They're legends. And just to learn from them each and every day is just a blessing for all of us. And they just, elevate our game just off the knowledge they know. And, we just keep getting better, just, how they teach the game and, how they help us.
Down in front here, and this will be our last question.
This is for DeAndre, Dave Willosh in Memphis Radio. You're the only guy that was on the team last year that was playing because of the injury to Alo. Mm-hmm. You said Boise is very much the same team. Are you the same team, or how is this team different?
I wouldn't say we're the same team. We got a lot more talent, and we got a lot of different pieces that come together, and we just. I can't even really explain it. This team here is just, it's special. And I really feel like, in this tournament, we can really do something amazing just off who we have, the coaching staff, and everything like that. But this matchup, it's going to be beautiful, and we're gonna go out there and give it our all.
All right, Jalen Duren, Alex Lomax, DeAndre Williams, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow. We'll have Coach Hardaway on the dais momentarily. With us on the dais now is Memphis coach Penny Hardaway. Coach, welcome to Portland. Any opening statement you'd like to make?
I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for having us, and we're excited.
All right, we'll open it up to questions. We'll begin right here in front.
Penny, Jason Munns with the Commercial Appeal. You seem in much better spirits than the last time we saw you. So is that what have the last couple of days been like for you? Are you kind of setting in that you're here after 4 years? You're here now.
Yeah, but the competitive side of me wanted to win the conference championship. It was kind of a bittersweet day because we didn't win, but we also got selected. The next day, I had forgotten about the conference championship and was thankful to even be here. You out of all people know how far we've come to even be in this position. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm taking it all in.
Cassie Carlson, Action News 5 in Memphis. Penny, what's the anticipation like as a coach leading into your first game compared to what it was as a player in the tournament?
It's kind of similar. I mean, obviously when I was a player, I knew I had to do so much more on the court. For me, the preparation is still the same because I have to prepare my team. Being the point guard or the guard on the team or the better player, the best player on my team, just kind of preparing my mind for different scenarios, different situations. Not trying to overthink it because, it's still a basketball game, but also to be prepared like I was when I was a player. So I've watched 6 games of Boise and just trying to get everything in my mind so when the game starts, it'll just be kind of staying on my brain.
Penny, Brian Hamilton from The Athletic. Where do you see the biggest growth in Jalen as a player from when he stepped in the door last summer to where he is now?
I think the biggest growth for him is his respect for how hard it is on this level. I think when he came in, he felt like it had been so easy for him in high school that he thought it was going to be easy on this side of the ball, but it hadn't been early, and he's respected it a lot more, had more respect, and he's taken it more serious than he ever has because more than a couple guys have surprised him this year that he played against that didn't have big names. And that made him think, hey, man, this level is a lot harder than I think it was going to be. I got to get in the weight room more. I got to start watching film more. I got to work on my game more because my normal game that I brought in is just not going to be enough. So his growth has come because of all those things.
Jay?
Jay Tuss, KTVB Boise. Penny, when you look at Boise State's roster, they're a very experienced team. They've been really good in close games this season. From what you've seen, why do you think they've had success in those moments?
Toughness and chemistry. I think they believe in one another. They have a great system. They run it like a well-oiled machine. And their toughness. I think they get gritty when it gets down, to the last parts of the game. They don't give up anything easy on defense, and then they create plays for each other on offense.
Bob Beeler, Bronco Radio Network. Wanted to know what you thought of both your team and their team. You faced each other in the NIT last year. You're obviously both better this year because you're in this tournament. So where do you think you guys are better, and where do you think they're better?
I think we're better because of the run we made. Obviously, we had more promise earlier in the season and didn't live up to the billing like we should have and had to take a harder route. Boise played phenomenal to me all season, won the conference championship and the regular season championship. So they're different because now they're champions coming into the NCAA. So for us, with us winning 12 out of 14, with them winning both, the confidence is high in both teams.
In the back?
Orlando Sanchez, KGW-TV here in Portland. Coach, from a local perspective, just your initial thoughts on being here in Portland, wondering if you have any memories from your playing days or working with Nike on Portland in general.
Well, obviously, if you know my history in the NBA, just Nike is so instrumental in my career with Little Penny and having my own signature shoe line. So I've always loved coming to Portland to go to the Nike meetings, obviously to play against the Trailblazers, which was always hard to do. And then I just remember that long flight to get here. But once I got here, man, the beauty of the city is unreal. So I've always loved coming here.
In the back. Go ahead.
Penny, Stephen Johnson, Daily Memphian. I see you brought Imani and the rest of the red shirts on the trip. Is there any chance we could see him playing tomorrow?
I don't know. To be very honest with you, I told the media a long time ago that we didn't know what would happen. We brought everybody because it's an experience that everybody should be a part of, especially the guys that are going to come back next year. You get here, you feel it, you see it, and when you get into June, guys start believing and understanding what it takes to get here because this is a beautiful thing. So we wanted everyone to experience it.
Up. Microphone up front.
Yeah, Penny, Boise Sports Talk Radio, John Mallory. Have you the advantages, I'm sure there are many with having Larry Brown on your staff, just the legend and savant he is. Where has he helped you most as a coach?
He's helped me in a lot of areas, obviously with early offense, just ideas on early offense, believing in my values and just make sure I hammer those in and don't don't ever go away from those. How to handle the shoot-arounds, what to really focus on, what are we running on makes, what are we running on misses, how to get into pressure different ways without letting people see the pressure coming, and just talking about just years and years of he's been in every scenario in a game that you can imagine. Just being over on the bench in different scenarios, just having him there to just bounce things off of during the timeouts.
Mark Giannotto from the Commercial Appeal. Going back to that answer you gave to Steven, does that mean there's a possibility Amani could return tomorrow?
I mean, he hadn't played, so I don't know. You know what I mean? He's here, and he's been practicing some, but has never played. Like, come back to see how his back feels. This has been going on for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So he came on a trip just like everyone else, and we just don't know.
And then just in general, because this is the first time for, I think everyone but Chandler has never played in an NCAA tournament game before. Just dealing with the nerves, anticipation of a big game. You've played in a lot of big games. What will you tell them ahead of this to kind of, to make sure they're playing, their best?
I would just say let your defense travels. You don't have to have nerves with defense and rebounding. I think that the offensive side of the ball brings the nerves, but I think if you just continue to believe in the game plan discipline of who we are, our identity, then nerves will be there, but they will surely go away as soon as the game starts, as long as you believe in that. That'll help.
Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian, Penny over here. Alo, when he was up here, talked about watching the Tigers when he was a little kid and their tournament runs. I presume you watched the Tigers on their tournament runs. What's it mean to be able to deliver that kind of a day to the city again after all this time?
It means a lot, because I remember when I was in elementary school, the teacher just wheeling in the TV and turning the tube on and us watching the NCAA tournament. So to be able to give that to the kids back home and to the city back home it's a dream come true, to be honest, because I know how big it is when the Tigers are playing in the NCAA tournament and how the city is all tuned in. They're all tuned in.
Jay
Tess, KTVB, Boise. Penny, when you look at last year's matchup, there's a lot of similar pieces for Boise State. One big difference, though, is the presence of Abu Kijab, number 24 for the Broncos. What do you think of him as a player, and maybe also his instincts as well?
Yeah, amazing. Just watching the games, because I didn't watch Boise a lot this season. I knew they were playing really well, and I knew they were good from last year, but I didn't know that they had added him. And, man, the plays that he's made, playing the passing lanes, the drives, the energy, the timely plays, the timely offensive rebounds, his athleticism, his speed, he's a force to be reckoned with. I have a lot of respect for him. I appreciate guys that just go out and leave it on the floor, and that's what he does.
Stephen Johnson, Daily Memphian. Alo was up here earlier, and he said Willie Kemp kind of helped bring the team together. They spent a lot of time at his house and things like that. What impact has he kind of made on the players, and was that kind of why you brought him on earlier this year?
Yeah, I think the impact that he's made is because he was on the team that played in the Final Four and in the finals against Kansas. He was the starting point guard. He's from the Bolivar area, which is only like an hour outside of the city, so he can kind of have some similarities there from being like almost a local kid that understands what it means to be from the area and then take your team into the NCAA tournament. And then he's just a great guy that bleeds blue. So he's always going to be positive with the guys, and that is one of the reasons why I brought him back, because he's a former player. He started on one of the better teams that ever played in school history, and he's been here.
In the back?
Penny, over here. Tim Booth from the Associated Press. You talked about what it means to the community. I'm wondering, does it feel different as a coach taking a team to a tournament versus going as a player? And do you have a memory that sort of stands out from your opportunity to play in the tournament as a player? Yeah,
it's different as a player than as a coach, because that's your job, to get the team to the NCAA tournament as a coach. As a player, you're just playing, you're fighting hard for every game, for every win, and when you get there, you're like, okay, let's go out here and win as a team. As a coach, you're building your entire team around getting here. And that's the difference. And my fondest memory is going to the Elite Eight in my first year as a sophomore, playing in the NCAA tournament. We played Pepperdine, Arkansas, and Georgia Tech, and beat those three teams. So that was one of the most funnest times I've ever had as a basketball player, including NBA, going on that run.
Penny, Brian Hamilton from The Athletic again. You kind of mentioned before with Jalen, he had those sort of aha moments, the reality checks. What were those moments that stood out to you where he kind of that changed his mentality? Like you said, he knew he had to do a little more.
Yeah, I think early on, not taking the pick and roll defenses seriously, not studying enough his opponent, just trying to go in the game and make it up on the fly, not running the court, just kind of jogging down the floor and not being just now. He sprints down the court. He studies more film in the pick and roll. He knows how important that is now on this level. Whatever we need him to do, he does it at a high level. And just that's the maturation phase of where he's come from to where he is now, because he wasn't doing that early on.
Let me just double check real quick, make sure we don't have any questions from our Zoom audience. If you have a question, raise your hand. Nobody's raising their hand. Go ahead.
Mark Giannotto from the Commercial Appeal again. Landers and Tyler didn't shoot the ball particularly well in Fort Worth. Did you see anything there? Were they getting the type of looks they were getting when they were shooting well and it just didn't go in? Is there anything needs to be adjusted? What did you make of their shooting struggles in Fort Worth?
Yeah, I think it's just what it was, shooting struggles. And, they got the shots that they wanted. They just didn't knock them down. Those are the same shots that they've knocked down in the past. Obviously, you know that. And we do believe in their shooting. We're going to try to continue to get those guys shots. And, I like my chances when they get looks at the basket.
Jay Tuss, KTVB again. Penny, when it comes to Boise State's rebounding tenacity, if you will, how would you describe it, and maybe in particular their effectiveness on the offensive boards at times?
Yeah, I would just say fierce. The big fella, he gets in there and starts wedging people, and then the other guys just crash in there. We're used to that because we played against Houston, and that's what they do. It's almost like they're mimicking that, which isn't a bad thing because they believe in crashing the glass, and they're reckless. They're just going to go in there and throw their bodies, all over the place to try to get action on the ball, and that's something that you have to do to be successful on this level. You got to rebound the basketball on both ends.
This will be our last question.
Jason Munn's Commercial Appeal. Have you had any, maybe this will come later, but any flashbacks to your previous experiences in the NCAA tournament? I know it was when you were a player and all that, but are you having any, or any memories coming back to you about your time, your experiences in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, we came out my first year and did some things that a lot of people didn't think that we could do by beating those three teams that I mentioned earlier. And then the next year, we came in as a higher seed and we lost to Western Kentucky. We just didn't take that round as serious. So my experiences of going in as a sophomore and not expecting anything and just going to play hard got us to the Elite Eight. Coming in the following year, expecting to win and beating the teams got us a loss. So you can't be too high, you can't be too low. You have to be even keel in this thing, and my experience has taught me that.
All right, a reminder, the recording of this press conference and the last press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.verit1.com, and transcripts are going to be provided by ASAP